Have you ever wondered why your legs seem to be getting weaker, even though you're doing everything right? You eat healthy, you stay active, you follow all the guidelines you've been told. So why do you find yourself feeling more tired after climbing a short flight of stairs than you did a few years ago? Why does getting up from a chair now take more effort than it used to? Is it just the aging process, or could there be something quietly working against your strength and stability? You might be surprised by the answer. For years, we've been told that fruit is one of the healthiest foods you can eat, packed with vitamins, good for your heart, your immune system, and an essential part of a balanced diet. And while that's still mostly true, there's a crucial detail many people overlook. Not all fruits are equally good for people over 60. In fact, some fruits, despite being juicy, sweet, and full of natural flavor, might actually be contributing to the weakness, stiffness, and discomfort in your legs. You see, as we age, our metabolism changes, so does our circulation. According to research from Harvard Medical School, certain natural sugars, acids, and compounds in fruit that were once perfectly harmless in your younger years can now interfere with muscle function, inflame joints, and even impair blood flow. And the worst part? You may be eating these fruits every day without realizing the toll they're taking on your body. But don't worry, you're not alone. And the good news is, once you're aware, you can start making smarter choices immediately. In today's video, I'll walk you through 5 specific fruits that adults over 60 may want to avoid if they want to protect their legs and preserve their mobility. And I'll save the most surprising one for last, because it's a fruit that most people believe is incredibly healthy. It might even be sitting in your kitchen right now. But we won't just talk about what to avoid, we'll also cover better alternatives. Fruits that reduce inflammation, improve circulation, ease joint pain, and even help restore muscle strength. If you've been dealing with nighttime leg numbness, random muscle cramps, or just feel like you've lost some of your balance or strength, this might be the wake-up call you didn't know you needed. Because yes, you absolutely can slow down and even reverse muscle loss with the right approach. So stay with me until the end. The information you're about to hear may be the first step toward regaining your strength, your confidence, and your freedom with every step you take. 1. Pineapple. A surprising risk for aging legs. For years, pineapple has been celebrated as a tropical superfruit, praised for its vibrant color, sweet flavor, and anti-inflammatory benefits thanks to its natural compound, bromelain. It's often found in fruit salads, smoothies, and even recommended in joint-friendly diets. But if you're over 60, you may want to take a closer look at how this sunny fruit affects your body, especially your legs. While bromelain does have anti-inflammatory properties in certain contexts, pineapple also contains high levels of natural sugar and acid that can pose serious challenges for aging adults. Just 100 grams of fresh pineapple contains around 10 grams of sugar, and that sugar can cause a sudden spike in blood glucose levels. Now, if you're younger with a fast metabolism and strong blood vessels, that sugar spike may not cause immediate harm. But for older adults, especially those with slower circulation or weakened vascular systems, that spike can place real strain on the delicate capillaries in your legs and feet. Over time, this limits oxygen delivery to your muscles, making it harder to walk, causing fatigue, swelling, and even pain after just a short stroll or standing up from a chair. On top of the sugar, pineapple also contains citric acid and bromelain, both of which can irritate inflamed tissues, particularly around the joints. If you have arthritis or chronic joint stiffness, pineapple may not soothe your discomfort. In fact, it may make things worse. Many people over 60 report feeling heavier, slower, or more achy after including pineapple in their meals, especially when eaten frequently. According to a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, older adults with weakened digestion or fragile blood vessels are more likely to experience inflammation and tissue irritation from acidic foods like pineapple. These effects aren't always immediate. Sometimes it's a slow buildup of discomfort over days or weeks until it becomes part of your daily struggle with leg fatigue, joint pain, or stiffness. There's another hidden concern too. If you're taking blood thinners, bromelain can interact with your medication, potentially increasing your risk of bruising or bleeding. That's why many doctors advise caution when combining pineapple with prescription drugs. Now, this doesn't mean you need to completely eliminate pineapple forever, but if you've noticed that your legs feel heavy, swollen, or unusually sore after eating pineapple, it may be time to reassess how often you include it in your diet. Consider replacing it with fruits that are lower in acid and sugar but still rich in antioxidants, like blueberries, papaya, or kiwi. They're easier on your joints, better for your circulation, and much more forgiving to your body as it ages. In short, while pineapple may be a golden fruit for some, it might be a hidden trigger for discomfort in others, especially if you're over 60. And the key to healthy aging often comes down to recognizing the difference to banana, a hidden culprit for aging legs. Bananas have long been considered one of nature's most perfect snacks, convenient, delicious, and rich in potassium, which helps support muscle function. You'll often hear they're great for energy, leg cramps, or even heart health. But if you're over 60, it may be time to take a closer look at how this popular fruit is actually affecting your body. A single ripe banana, about 100 grams, contains approximately 12 grams of natural sugar and 23 grams of carbohydrates, most of which are absorbed by the body very quickly. For younger people, that sugar spike is no big deal. Insulin kicks in efficiently to bring blood sugar levels back to normal. But as we age, our insulin sensitivity tends to decline, meaning the body becomes slower at managing those spikes. For older adults, especially those with slower circulation or borderline blood sugar issues, that seemingly innocent banana may be quietly causing blood sugar instability. This matters most in the legs, where blood flow is already fighting gravity. After eating a banana, many older adults report feeling heaviness or dull discomfort in their knees or calves, especially when walking or climbing stairs. This isn't just bloating or feeling full. It may be a sign that high blood sugar is damaging tiny blood vessels in the lower limbs, reducing oxygen delivery to muscles and joints. To make matters more complex, bananas can also cause fluid retention, especially in people with heart issues or those taking diuretics. Regular banana consumption may lead to mild swelling in the ankles or a sense of stiffness in the legs after standing too long. That's because bananas, while rich in potassium, may also interfere with sodium balance, which plays a role in water retention. A study from Tufts University found that diets high in fast-absorbing carbohydrates, like those in ripe bananas, are linked to reduced blood flow to the extremities in older adults. Over time, this can contribute to weaker leg muscles and a higher risk of falls. The challenge is that the effect is gradual. You won't notice it right away, which makes it easy to miss the connection. So does this mean you need to give up bananas forever? Not at all. But moderation and timing matter. If you enjoy bananas, consider eating only half at a time and always pair it with something that slows digestion, like a few walnuts, a tablespoon of natural peanut butter, or a slice of cheese. This combination helps balance the blood sugar response and supports steadier circulation to your legs. And whatever you do, avoid eating bananas on an empty stomach, especially in the morning. That's when blood sugar spikes hit hardest, which can worsen circulation to your legs throughout the day. Bananas aren't a bad food, but they're not one size fits all. For older adults, they require a little more caution. If leg pain, swelling, or fatigue has been creeping in without explanation, it might be time to rethink how and when you're enjoying this popular fruit. 3. Grapes. Sweet but sneaky for aging joints. Grapes are small, juicy, and delicious. They're easy to snack on, require no peeling, and are often praised for their antioxidants, especially resveratrol, which is known to support heart health. At first glance, grapes seem like the perfect healthy treat, especially for older adults looking to eat better without giving up sweetness. But here's something most people don't realize. Grapes may not be as harmless as they seem, particularly when it comes to your legs, joints, and circulation after age 60. You see, grapes contain a high amount of fructose, a natural sugar that your liver processes rapidly. While fructose might sound healthier than processed sugar, the body reacts very differently to it, especially in large amounts. When your liver gets more fructose than it can handle, it begins converting the excess into fat and uric acid. That uric acid is where the trouble begins. High levels of uric acid can lead to the formation of sharp, crystal-like deposits in your joints, particularly in smaller areas like the toes, ankles, and knees. This buildup can trigger painful inflammation, sometimes mistaken for arthritis. If you've ever been woken up by a burning pain in your big toe or noticed unexplained stiffness in your knees or calves, your diet, especially your fruit intake, could be playing a role. And grapes, while sweet and refreshing, are easy to overeat. They're bite-sized and low in fiber, which means you can eat a cup or 3 without feeling full. but just 1 cup of grapes contains about 15 grams of sugar, most of it fructose. Multiply that by 2 or 3 cups, and you've easily consumed the sugar equivalent of a soda without realizing it. A study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who regularly consumed high fructose fruits like grapes had a higher risk of joint pain, soft tissue inflammation, and mobility issues. This isn't to say you should never eat grapes, but it does mean moderation matters more than ever as you age. If you enjoy the natural sweetness of grapes, you don't need to cut them out entirely, but consider eating smaller portions and not every day, and instead of snacking on grapes alone, try pairing them with a protein source like a small handful of nuts or a slice of cheese to slow the sugar absorption. Even better, consider swapping grapes for lower sugar, anti-inflammatory fruits like blueberries, cherries, or raspberries. These options still satisfy your sweet tooth, but offer more fiber and compounds that actively protect your joints and improve circulation. So while grapes may look innocent in the bowl, they could be working against your joints behind the scenes. Be mindful, not fearful, and remember, small shifts in your choices today can keep you walking strong for years to come. I see 4. Watermelon, a refreshing fruit with a hidden cost. Watermelon is the ultimate symbol of summer, cool, hydrating, and naturally sweet. With over 90% water content, it's often seen as a guilt-free snack that helps quench thirst, refresh the body, and even promote youthful skin. But if you're over 60, there's something you should know. Watermelon, as harmless as it looks, may be quietly weakening your legs, especially if it's become a regular part of your routine. While it's true that watermelon is low in calories, it has a surprisingly high glycemic index, often between 76 and 80. That means when you eat it, your blood sugar spikes quickly, much like it would after eating candy. Younger people can handle this with ease. Insulin steps in, regulates the sugar, and things go back to normal. But as we age, our insulin response slows and the body struggles to manage those sharp increases. This is where the problem starts. Every time your blood sugar surges, especially after a fruit like watermelon, your small blood vessels, especially in the legs and feet, take a hit. Over time, this repeated strain damages circulation. You may not feel it right away, but the signs are there. Tired legs after a light snack, slight swelling in the ankles or tightness in the knees after eating watermelon in the evening. That's not coincidence. It's the result of low-grade inflammation that builds up in areas with already poor circulation, like the calves, knees, and ankles. These quiet, early signs are your body's way of saying something isn't quite right. Another issue with watermelon, it's incredibly easy to overeat. A couple of slices turn into 3 or 4 before you know it, and with that comes a heavy load of natural sugar, comparable to a can of soda. And when watermelon is eaten after a meal, especially alongside starchy foods, it can cause an even greater insulin spike, which can lead to joint soreness, heaviness when walking, and fatigue while climbing stairs. According to a report from the American Clinical Nutrition Institute, regularly consuming high glycemic foods like watermelon is strongly linked to reduced insulin sensitivity, narrow blood vessels, and a higher risk of nighttime leg cramps in seniors. Does this mean you need to give up watermelon entirely? Not at all, but it's time to enjoy it more mindfully. If you love watermelon, limit yourself to 1 small slice and only after a complete, balanced meal. Never eat it on an empty stomach, and don't use it as a substitute for water, especially if you've been dealing with fatigue, joint discomfort, or numbness in your legs at night. Want something cooling and safer for your blood sugar? Try ripe papaya or fresh pears. They're gentler on your body and won't spike your blood sugar the way watermelon can. Watermelon may look like a harmless summer treat, but for aging legs, it can carry a hidden cost. 5. Oranges, a sunny fruit with a sour side for aging joints. Oranges have long been a symbol of vitality and good health. They brighten up breakfast plates, show up in refreshing juices, and are known for their immune-boosting vitamin C. For years, we've been told that oranges are a must-have in a healthy diet. But if you're over 60 and noticing new aches in your legs or stiffness in your joints, it might be time to take a closer look at how this citrus fruit fits into your daily routine. What many people don't realize is that oranges, despite their sweetness, are high in citric acid, a naturally occurring compound that gives citrus fruits their tangy flavor. When we're younger, our stomach lining and digestive system can usually handle acidic foods just fine. But as we age, our gut becomes more sensitive, and that acid can cause unexpected ripple effects, not just in the stomach, but throughout the body, including your blood vessels, joints, and connective tissues. Citric acid, when consumed frequently, can make already inflamed or aging joints even more sensitive and reactive. If you're someone dealing with arthritis, joint degeneration, or sciatica, you may notice more hip pain, knee stiffness, or tightness in your legs after a glass of orange juice or a few slices of the fruit. It doesn't stop there. Orange juice in particular, especially store-bought versions, contains about 9 grams of natural sugar per 100 mils, and that's without any added sweeteners. This sugar, combined with the acidity, can destabilize your blood sugar. It often causes a sudden dip followed by a sharp rise, a cycle that can trigger inflammation in aging adults. This inflammation tends to show up where circulation is already weak, in your lower legs, calves, and joints. You might feel this as unexplained leg fatigue, tight calves, or even nighttime cramps. According to research from the American Institute of Clinical Nutrition, older adults who regularly consume acidic foods are at greater risk of connective tissue inflammation and bone density loss, especially those already managing osteoporosis or joint conditions. If you've been drinking orange juice for years, these effects likely didn't appear overnight. But over time, they could be contributing to the slow loss of mobility or increased stiffness that many seniors assume is just part of aging. So what can you do if you still love oranges? First, skip the bottled juice, especially anything with added sugar or preservatives. If you're going to enjoy an orange, eat the whole fruit rather than just the juice, and always after a full meal, not on an empty stomach. Avoid eating oranges right before bed, and never drink orange juice first thing in the morning without food. If you've been waking up with knee pain or morning leg stiffness, consider switching to alkaline fruits like ripe papaya or pears, which are gentler on the joints and easier on your blood sugar. Oranges may still have their place, but for older adults, how and when you eat them makes all the difference. 6. Mango, the tropical treat that could be troubling your legs. Mangoes are often called the king of fruits, and for good reason. They're delicious, vibrant, and loaded with nutrients like vitamin A, vitamin C, and powerful antioxidants. Whether in a smoothie, a fruit salad, or eaten straight from the peel, mangoes feel like a luxurious, guilt-free treat. But if you're over 60 and dealing with leg discomfort, swelling, or stiffness, this tropical favorite might not be as innocent as it seems. You see, one average-sized mango contains over 45 grams of sugar, most of it in the form of fructose. And while fructose is natural, your body doesn't always handle it well, especially as you age. Unlike glucose, which your cells use for energy, fructose is processed by your liver. When you eat more than your liver can manage, and a mango alone can do just that, the excess is converted into fat and uric acid. That uric acid can lead to major trouble for your joints. It tends to accumulate in small joints, like those in your feet, knees, and ankles, leading to soreness, stiffness, or even sharp, sudden pain. These symptoms are common in people with gout or arthritis, but even without those conditions, excess uric acid can still quietly damage tissues over time. But that's not all. Mango's high glycemic load can trigger a blood sugar spike followed by a crash. And if you're over 60, your body may no longer respond to these shifts as quickly or efficiently as it used to. This blood sugar instability can lead to poor circulation in the lower body, causing heavy legs, calf cramps, or a feeling of weakness when walking or climbing stairs. And because mango is so sweet and soft, it's incredibly easy to overeat. A few slices can quickly become a whole fruit or two, especially if it's already peeled and chilled. And yet, the impact on your legs and joints might not appear until hours later, or even the next morning when you wake up with sore knees or aching feet. Now, this doesn't mean you can't enjoy mangoes ever again. It just means you need to be mindful about how and when you eat them. If you love the taste of mango, try limiting yourself to a few small slices, ideally after a balanced meal with protein and healthy fats to slow sugar absorption. Avoid eating mangoes on an empty stomach or pairing them with other high-sugar fruits. Looking for a tropical alternative that's easier on your joints and blood sugar? Try papaya or kiwi. These fruits offer that same bright tropical flavor, but with less fructose and more anti-inflammatory benefits. A win-win for aging legs. In short, mango might be sweet to the taste, but for older adults with sensitive circulation or joints, too much of it may be quietly adding to your discomfort. 7. Apple juice, a healthy drink that could be hurting your legs. Apples have long been a symbol of health. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? But what if that apple is squeezed, strained, bottled, and turned into juice? For many older adults, apple juice may seem like a healthy, easy option, especially at breakfast or as a light afternoon refreshment. Unfortunately, that sweet glass may be doing more harm than good, particularly for your legs, circulation, and joint health. Let's start with the basics. Apple juice, especially the clear, shelf-stable kind sold in most stores, is stripped of almost all its fiber. What's left behind is mostly sugar and water. In fact, an 8-ounce glass of apple juice contains 24 to 30 grams of sugar, comparable to many soft drinks, but because there's no fiber to slow it down, this sugar rushes into your bloodstream all at once. For older adults, especially those with reduced insulin sensitivity, this rapid sugar spike can have serious consequences. Every surge in blood sugar puts strain on your small blood vessels, and those in your legs and feet are often hit the hardest. Over time, this can impair circulation, leaving you with heavier legs, tired calves, or even cold feet. But it doesn't stop there. Repeated spikes in blood sugar can trigger inflammation, especially in soft tissues like knees, ankles, and hips. If you've been waking up with stiff legs, noticing mild swelling in your lower body, or experiencing nighttime cramps, your apple juice habit might be playing a part. And if you're drinking juice as a way to stay hydrated, there's more to consider. Apple juice contains malic acid, which gives apples their tart flavor. While malic acid has some benefits in small amounts, in large doses it can irritate the stomach lining and contribute to inflammation in sensitive individuals, especially those with arthritis or autoimmune conditions. And according to a report from the American Journal of Geriatric Nutrition, seniors who drink fruit juices, high in sugar but low in fiber, like apple juice, are more likely to experience connective tissue inflammation, reduced bone density, and slower circulation in the lower limbs. So, what's the solution? If you love apples, the good news is you don't have to give them up, just eat the whole fruit instead. A fresh apple, especially with the peel, offers fiber, antioxidants, and a slower, steadier rise in blood sugar. And it's far more satisfying, which makes it easier to control portions. Avoid drinking apple juice on an empty stomach or as a standalone snack. If you occasionally indulge, pair it with protein or healthy fats to reduce its impact on your blood sugar. Bottom line, apple juice may seem like a safe, healthy option, but for aging bodies, especially those dealing with circulation issues or leg discomfort, it can be a sneaky contributor to inflammation, weakness, and poor mobility. Small changes matter, and swapping juice for whole fruit could be a simple first step toward stronger legs and a healthier you. Your legs have carried you through life. Let's help them carry you further. Your legs have been with you through every step of life, from your very first wobbly steps as a child, to afternoons playing in the yard, to walking confidently through life's toughest moments. They've been your silent partners through it all. Right, but lately, have you noticed that even a short staircase leaves you winded? That a simple walk to the mailbox feels heavier, slower, and more painful than it used to? We're often quick to blame these changes on age, but as we've discovered today, aging isn't the only reason your legs may be feeling tired, sore, or weak. In fact, some of the most common fruits you've likely been eating for years, maybe even every week, could be quietly affecting your circulation, joint health, and muscle strength. Here's the good news. It's not too late to make a change. Your body still has a remarkable ability to heal, strengthen, and adapt, especially when you give it the right support. And that begins with small, simple choices. Start by swapping out just one snack. Replace a few slices of watermelon with some blueberries, or enjoy ripe papaya instead of a banana. Choose fruits that nourish, not drain. These changes may seem small, but over time they can lead to powerful results. Lighter steps, stronger legs, less discomfort, and more freedom to move confidently each day. Imagine standing up from your chair without hesitation, walking across the room without pain, feeling steady on your feet and trusting your body again. If you've made it this far, it means you care deeply about your health, and that matters more than anything. So here's what I'd love for you to do. Share one thing you learned today in the comments, or tell me one small change you're ready to make for your health. And if this video helped you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next tip. We're building a community of people who are choosing to age stronger, smarter, and with purpose. And you're part of it now. Thank you for being here. Stay well, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.